Hello students, in last class we learned about the ionization chamber, okay, their construction and working. Ionization chamber, it is based on the principle of gas ionization, okay. Then today we learn one of the most important particle detector, that is the GM counter or Ziegler-Muller counter, okay. It is also called a GM counter. GM counter used to detect and count the elementary particles in cosmic rays and in nuclear disintegration. It was first developed by the Ziegler and Muller in 1928. See, in 1928 it was first developed by the Ziegler and Muller. Through it was proposed by the Ziegler and the Rutherford in 1908. It is proposed by the Ziegler and Rutherford in 1908 and it is first developed by the Ziegler and Muller in 1928. Okay, it is important for your examination. Then GM counter is essentially a modification of ionization chamber. The ionization chamber, it is modified into the GM counter. GM counter is essentially a modification of the ionization chamber. By modifying the ionization chamber, GM counter will be developed. The operating potential difference between the electrodes in GM tube is such that the Townsend avalanche is formed due to the secondary ionization by collision, such that the gas amplification factor is about the 10 raised to 8. We already learned it. In the GM counter region, the gas amplification factor is 10 raised to 8 and it is very large. Thus, an elementary particle which can produce even a single ion pair in GM tube can also be detected. See, this one is the application of the GM counter. The elementary particle which can produce even a single ion pair in GM tube can also be detected. Okay, it is highly sensitive. However, the energy of the particle and the total number of ion pairs it produces in the tube is not at all related with the current pulse it produces. Okay, then we learn what is the construction of the GM counter. Okay, GM counter mainly consists of a cylindrical metal tube. See the schematic diagram of the GM counter. Okay, it consists of a cylindrical metal tube usually made up of a stainless steel or a nicron or glass tube with its inner wall coated with the graphite acting as a grounded cathode. See, GM counter consists of a cylindrical method tube. C. This one is the cylindrical metal tube C, usually made up of a stainless steel or a nicron or glass tube with its inner wall coated with the graphite acting as a grounded cathode. See here, this one is grounded and it acts as a cathode. The tube is about 1 centimeter. The tube is about 1 centimeter to 5 centimeter in a diameter and about the 10 centimeter to 100 centimeter in length. There is a coaxial wire anode made up of a tungsten. There is a coaxial wire anode which is made up of a tungsten. This one is the anode which is made up of a tungsten and this one is the cathode. Okay. Then this GM tube is normally enclosed in a glass tube G. See, there is a cylindrical tube C having a anode, okay, having a anode. Then this one is the C and it is connected to the and it is grounded. Okay, it is grounded. It is grounded, which acts as a cathode, and this wire anode, it is acts as an anode, and it is made up of a tungsten. Okay, then this whole apparatus is enclosed in a glass tube. This whole apparatus is enclosed in a glass tube G. The GM tube is initially evacuated and then it is filled with an inert gas like argon. This here the gas argon is filled at low pressure about the 10 centimeter of mercury. Okay, the glass tube is filled with a inert gas like argon at a low pressure about the 10 centimeter of the mercury. Okay, then usually this gas is mixed with a quenching gas like the organic vapors. This argon is mixed with a quenching gas like a organic vapors or a halogens. Quenching gas like halogens. Okay, in a proper proportion. Then argon and bromine gas are filled at a partial pressures of 10 cm of Hg and the 1 mm of Hg respectively. A potential difference obtained from a high tension is applied across the anode and cathode through a high resistance R. See, there is a here we connect a load resistance R, okay, and it is connected to a high tension V. Then we pass it through a capacitor, then pulse amplifier, then scalar circuit, and then mechanical counter. Okay. A potential difference is obtained from a high tension is applied across the anode and cathode through a high resistance R about 1 to 10 mega ohm as shown in figure. As shown in figure, the potential difference is corresponding to a GM region is greater than the proportional counter region but certainly small enough to avoid a continuous discharge. When GM tube discharges due to the passage of an elementary particle, a current pulse is produced which develops a voltage pulse across resistance. Okay, when GM tube discharges due to the passage of the elementary particle, a current pulse is produced and which develops a voltage pulse across R. This voltage signal is amplified by a pulse amplifier. Here we have a pulse amplifier. Pulse amplifier is used to amplify the voltage signals, okay, whose output is given to a scalar circuit. This is the scalar circuit. The output of the pulse amplifier is given to the scalar circuit and finally to the mechanical counter. Okay, it is given to the mechanical counter. This is the construction. See, it consists of a cylindrical metal tube C. Okay, it is usually made up of a stainless steel or nicron or glass with its inner wall coated with a graphite acting as a grounded cathode. Okay, then there is a coaxial wire anode which is made up of a tungsten which acts as an anode. Then this GM tube is normally enclosed in a glass tube G. The GM tube is initially evacuated and then it is filled with a inert gas like the argon, and along with the argon it is mixed with a quenching gas like the organic vapors or the halogens in proper proportions. Okay, then argon and bromine gas are filled at a partial pressures. Then a potential difference obtained from a high tension is applied across the anode and cathode through a high resistance R, then the potential difference corresponding to GM region is greater than the proportional counter region, but certainly small enough to avoid the continuous discharge. When GM tube discharged due to the passage of an elementary particle, a current pulse will be produced which develops a voltage pulse across the R, which can be amplified by a pulse amplifier, and then the output of the pulse amplifier given to a scalar circuit, and finally it is given to the mechanical counter to count the elementary particles. Okay, this is the construction. Then what is the theory behind the GM counter and how it works? See, the electric field inside the GM tube is a central field as shown in figure. See, the electric field inside the GM tube is the central field. Here the diagram is given. Central field inside the tube. The electric field inside the GM tube is the central field. That is, the field is very strong around the anode. Central field means the field is very strong around the anode. There is a wire anode A and the field is very strong at the anode A. Okay, when an elementary particle is passing through the GM tube, it produces an ion pair. It produces an ion pair, that is the positive and negative ion pair produces in the GM tube. Then the electrons is accelerated towards the anode and positive ions towards the cathode. Okay, electrons are accelerated towards the this is the, suppose this one is a GM tube and this is the anode, and here's we connect, here's we have a cathode, okay, which is grounded and it is held enclosed in a GM tube in a glass G. Okay, positive ion negative ion pair, then the ion pair will be formed and then electron is accelerated towards the anode. This is the anode and hence the negatively charged electron is accelerated towards the anode. Okay, and positive ion towards the cathode. This positive ion towards the cathode, towards the cathode. Light and more mobile electrons the accelerated towards the anode. See, light and more mobile electrons accelerated towards the anode and it gain energy and induce the further ionization of gas, that is the secondary ionization. Okay, the electrons are attracted or accelerated towards the anode and the positive ions towards the cathode. Light and more mobile electrons accelerated towards the anode, okay. And the positive ions towards the cathode. Light and more mobile electrons accelerated towards the anode and it gain energy and it induces further ionization of gas, which is known as the secondary ionization by the collision. The electric field being very strong near the anode, a very large number of ion pairs are produced around the anode. Okay, the electric field is strong near the anode and a very large number of ion pairs are produced around the anode. More mobile electrons are quickly collected by the anode and thus the avalanche of the electron produces an ion current in the external circuit. See, there is a strong field and hence the electrons will be collected near the anode and it produces an ion current. At the same time, a heavy positive ions being less mobile will be moving slowly towards the cathode and thereby form a positive ion sheath around the anode, which is consequently reduces the effective potential difference between the A and C to support the ionization due to the collision, that is the secondary ionization, and hence electron avalanche ceases. This results in producing a current pulse in the external circuit, and it produces an ion pair can produce a current pulse. Okay. This results in the producing a current pulse in the external circuit. Thus, every elementary particle producing an ion pair can produce a current pulse. To decide the working potential for the GM tube, a standard beta source which emits a beta particles at a constant rate is selected, and GM tube is exposed to the source, and the count rate is recorded by changing the potential difference across the A and C. Then the count rate is plotted against the voltage. The counter starts recording the pulses at V is equal to VA, which increases with the voltage, but in the range from the, see here we have a diagram. The working potential for GM tube. Okay. This diagram, the working potential of the GM tube. Okay. Then to decide the working potential for the GM tube, a standard beta source will be used, and which emits a beta particles at a constant rate. It is selected, and GM tube is exposed to this source, and the count rate is recorded by the changing potential difference. Okay. Then we can count the count rate is plotted against the voltage. Here the count rate, and here's the voltage V. Okay. The counter starts recording the pulses at V is equal to VA. When the voltage becomes VA, the counter will be starts. Okay. Which increases with V. But in the range from the VB to VC, from point VB to VC, the count rate is almost constant. The count rate is almost constant by a plateau. Okay. However, at V is greater than the VC, at V is greater than the VC, there will be a continuous discharge takes place. Okay. This is the VB. This is the VC. After the VC, the continuous discharge will be takes place. Thus, the working potential for the GM tube corresponds to the plateau region from VB to VC. The VB to VC is the plateau region, which is not very critical. Usually, a potential V corresponding to a middle region of the plateau is selected as the working potential difference for the GM tube. Okay. A faithful counter is one which produces one and only one pulse for every particle passing through the GM tube. See, it is important. A faithful counter is one which produces one and only one pulse for every particle passing through the GM tube. Therefore, after producing the first pulse, the tube must be quenched, and soon it must be reset to record the next incoming particle. Therefore, after producing a first pulse, the tube must be quenched, and it must be reset to record the next incoming pulse. Okay. To achieve these two quenching processes are used the self quenching and electronic quenching. We can learn these two processes in next class, self quenching and electronic quenching. Okay. I hope you all get it, the construction, theory and working of the GM counter. Okay. Thank you.